We invite you to watch how we clear the views on all matters through our partner station MITV on DSTV channel 255, 7 p.m. daily, and also our YouTube and Facebook pages under one name, Clearview News Desk every day. We call it The People's News, as we are available to come over and cover your events upon notice. Or do you have news you want us to broadcast? Send it in. We verify and go to town with it. All for you. Go ahead, engage us to thrash out those naughty issues on the news. And what we need from you is to share and subscribe. More important, convince your loved ones, friends, relatives, co-worshippers, and more to subscribe so as to be getting notifications as we break the news. Go a step further, like the news, and drop your thoughts on the comment section. Clearview News. We clear the view one time and for all time.
Hello and welcome to Clearview News Desk. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. Remove Wike's name now from Local Government Council Secretariat. Council Chairman issues directive in Rivers as the political fortunes of the FCT minister appear to be dwindling. Suspected serial killer in Ogun State pleads that he and his accomplices be sentenced to death. Detained Philippine pastor also wanted in the United States for sex trafficking of children registers to run in next year's Senate elections. I am Imefono Kon with this and more. The River State Governor, Sim Fubara, has vowed to take decisive action against those responsible for sitting 3 local government secretariats in the state Ablaze on Monday. Governor Fubara made this known when he paid a visit to the secretariats of the Hqtrs Local Government Council in Isiokbo. Said the incident won't be overlooked, even as he assured his administration will work closely with security agencies to identify and prosecute the culprits. Clearview News correspondent has the details. Hqtrs local government area was one of the local government areas whose building was set ablaze as the newly elected council officials were to assume offices. The burning of local government secretariat came after the police officers securing the 23 council secretariat were withdrawn by the Commissioner of Police. During the visit to assess the level of damage on the secretariat, Governor Sim Fubara vowed not to leave any stone unturned until the arsonists are brought to justice.
The immediate past chairman, and for me, because I know the history of this council, how it sought for fund and how it was executed. This is supposed to be a legacy project for him, that whoever is going to come after now will continue to remember that at a certain time, a certain person did this for the LG. But look at what we're seeing here today. Must we go low in politics? There was an election on Saturday. The council, the new council chairman were inaugurated yesterday. We are aware of the boasting that they will not be allowed to access the secretariat. And we were happy early hours of this morning when the Inspector General of Police directed his men to vacate the premises for easy access of the new elected officers to resume office. And immediately they took advantage of that space to destroy government facility. Who is the loser? The new council that is coming in, the fund that will be applied to other things will now be used to fix this place? Are we not really acting as if we're not responsible? It's an act of irresponsibility. Even if one advises you to go and destroy a government facility, you would think twice. Please, I want to say this to the entire River State. If you're called upon, play your politics with a sense of responsibility. We don't need to kill ourselves. My time will come and I will leave. Do I need to burn the government house? No! We all know where this is coming from. That is the truth. And everybody knows that it is not from my supporters. But I leave all to the security agencies to do a thorough work and let us know the people that are behind this arson.
Recall that despite the police opting out of the exercise that produced the newly elected local government chairman, Governor Sim Fubara insisted that the election be held on Saturday. Following the conclusion of the polls amid heightened tension, the Action People's Party (APP) won 22 chairmanship positions out of 23 in the oil-rich state, while the Action Alliance (AA) won a seat. Governor Fubara swore in the 23 newly elected local government chairmen in Rivers State on Sunday. However, some of the local government chairmen were attacked upon assumption of office on Monday. Meanwhile, the newly elected chairman of Hqtrs local government area, Israel Abosi, has taken over the council secretariat in Isiokpo. The takeover comes less than 24 hours after the secretariat was burnt by arsonists on Monday. Still on Rivers State, Governor Sim Fubara has appealed to his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, to let go of any grip he desires to have over Rivers State and allow peace reign. Fubara, who stated this in an interview on Monday, added that he does not regret conducting the local government election in the state last Saturday, despite the resistance by Wike's men in the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and the All Progressives Congress (APC). The governor said he has kept all understanding he had with the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory to ensure peace reign in the state, but the issue has continued to escalate. Fubara also noted that all Nigerians know that he has no hand in the destruction of local government secretariats in Rivers State. The fate of the FCT minister Nyesom Wike politically in Rivers State seems to be suffering dwindling fortunes. His position in his home state appears to be in agreement with Chinwe Achebe's things fall apart, the center cannot hold. Or how do you explain a situation where the chairperson of the ministers of Obiokpo local government ordered the removal of his name from the council building named after him? Wike hails from the council area and he is a former chairperson of the council. Chijioke Ionwo, the newly inaugurated chairperson of Obiokpo local government area of Rivers State, has ordered that the FCT minister Nyesom Wike's name be blotted out of a building in the council secretariat. Chijioke, who visited the council secretariat on Monday, ordered that the administrative block, hitherto named after Wike, be renamed Obi Wale House. The chairperson was at the secretariat about an hour after the Hqtrs and Imoha local government secretariat were set ablaze by hoodlums. Chijioke was elected chairperson in the local election conducted on Saturday. Recall police barred officers from providing security for the election, citing a court order. After the elections, the police unsealed all the council secretariats in Rivers. The hoodlums who attacked the two council secretariats had a field day after the police operatives left. He advised Rivers State Police Command to be neutral. A suspected serial killer identified as Philip Okuneke, who was arrested in Ogun State, has reportedly pleaded that he and his accomplices be sentenced to death. Okuneke made the plea in an interrogation video obtained and shared by the State Police Public Relations Officer Omolola Odutola on X page. The Ogun State Police Command had stated that the suspect method was to lure his victims into the forest, where he would tie them up, strangle them, and then abandon their bodies after stealing their phones. According to the suspect, he was lured into the act of killing by one Danjuma and some other persons who allegedly initiated him into the outlawed Eid confraternity. While urging the police to ensure the arrest of Danjuma and other alleged accomplices, Okuneke stressed that his only plea was to be sentenced to death when arraigned in court. A detained Philippine pastor who is also wanted in the United States for sex trafficking of children has registered this Tuesday to run in the Philippines' next year's Senate elections. Apollo Quiploy, an ally of Philippines' former president, is a self-proclaimed appointed son of God who claims millions of followers. The 74-year-old was arrested last month and is currently detained in Manila and facing charges of child abuse, sexual abuse, and human trafficking. One of Quiploy's lawyers, who filled his candidacy papers, said he is in the race for the Senate to be a part of the solution to the country's problems, adding that he is running because of God and his beloved country, Philippines. According to Mark Christopher, Quiploy pledges to promote laws that are God-centered, Philippine-centered, and Filipino-centered. The circumstances, however, are not without precedent. In May 2022, Jose Estrada won a Senate seat while on trial for corruption. He took up the post and was later acquitted. Another was right campaigner Leila de Lima, who spent the majority of her 6-year Senate term in prison after being detained in 2017 on drugs charges. She was, however, cleared this year. Candidates are only disqualified from standing in Senate elections if they have exhausted all appeals after being convicted of offenses involving moral turpitude, according to the Philippines Election Code, which does not list specific crimes. Environmentalists in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory have stressed the need for healthy hygiene practices among residents. At a one-day sensitization campaign in Utako markets of the Abuja metropolis, a civil society organization known as Do the Right Thing in collaboration with the Abuja Environmental Protection Board called on all residents, especially shop owners, to ensure a clean and safe marketplace to promote healthy living and safety of staple food items sold in the market. We have the details.
It is often said that cleanliness is next to godliness, suggesting that being clean is nearly as important as being morally upright. It also implies the importance of maintaining personal hygiene and a tidy living environment. It is against this backdrop that a civil society organization known as Do the Right Thing, in collaboration with the Abuja Environmental Protection Board, took to the marketplace to sensitize sellers and buyers on the need for proper sanitation and good hygiene practices.
Anything you give to the environment will give it to you back.
In his remarks, founder of the group, Mike Nwadiora, said the move is aimed at curbing poor sanitation and hygiene practices among residents, especially given the occasional cases of cholera, food poisoning, and other illnesses caused by bacteria and germs in the country.
A clear market is not only good for your customers, but also for your own health and safety. Now, environmental health is essential for our overall well-being, and the benefits of a healthy environment are numerous. A clean and healthy environment reduces the risk of diseases, improves air and water quality, and sustains ecosystem. By protecting our environment, we are also protecting ourselves and future generations from the harmful effects of pollution and climate change. Environmental health is not just about protecting nature, but it's also about promoting human health and well-being.
If we are keeping our environment dirty, we will not be healthy. Every time we will be spending our money in the hospital. You make money today in the market, tomorrow you go and give it to the doctors and nurses. We are not saving anything because of our environment. Environment is how you keep it. Garbage in, garbage out. If you keep your environment clean, keep yourself clean, everything about you will be clean. Your health will be sure. But if your environment is dirty, the money you are making here today, tomorrow will be a waste to you because you will not save.
According to a United Nations agency report by the Food and Agricultural Organization, consumption of contaminated foodstuff is on the rise in major cities, including Lagos and Kano. The group expressed confidence that the campaign would reinforce a mental shift and promote healthy lifestyles among residents.
If you are just joining us, you are watching the news on Cleveland News Desk. We'll be back after this break. Stay with us.
We break the news.
This is Christ Embassy.
Recollect, we were the first to break this. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State has approved the appointment of 3 second-class emirs. And this?
Erasmus is the most successful program of the European Union to support education and youth.
And this?
Fubara is not an ungrateful person.
And more.
Tension is currently mounting in Rivers State. The planned arraignment of Yaya Bello.
Across our platforms. Subscribe now and you will be receiving our notifications and never left out as the news breaks on Clearview.
Welcome back. A famous Nigerian singer, Burna Boy, has reacted to the viral report of rapper Speed Darlington's disappearance. Speed Darlington's sudden disappearance comes days after he had questioned Burna Boy's Grammy Award, linking him with the embattled American singer Diddy. However, reacting to the viral report in a post on his X handle, Burna Boy wrote, "Who is missing? 7 is real." Speed Darlington is said to have been missing for 3 days now. Meanwhile, a popular lawyer and activist, Deji Adeyanju, has confirmed the arrest of rapper Speed Darlington, who was reportedly missing since Friday. Adeyanju disclosed that the rapper was arrested in Lagos and transferred to the force headquarters in Abuja. Speaking in a series of posts on his X handle on Tuesday, the lawyer, who did not give details, claimed that the arrest was based on a formal complaint from singer Burna Boy. In contemporary times, tribal marks have become the dying law of an ancient days. In Nigeria, tribal marks were used as means of identification and beautification among some ethnic groups like the Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Igala, Tiv, Kanure, and others. Clearview TV's Chidinma Okafor in the special report says the use of tribal marks is fast being seen as offensive and inhuman by some Nigerians.
Tribal marks in the olden days were used to identify people of a particular locality, especially in times of wars, which were common at that time. But in the present day, the use of national identity card or international passports appears to be generally acceptable. A number of reasons, including health hazards arising from facial mutilation due to the use of unsterilized blades and crude tools by non-professionals, account for the gradual rejection of tribal marks. According to popular Nigerian politician Senator Dino Melaye, the time has come for Nigerians to do away with tribal identity marks. It says, carrying out facial mutilation is a form of infringement on the fundamental human rights of the child because it is being done without the child's consent, and if any culture infringes on the fundamental human rights of a person, it should be abrogated.
That bill was in 2016 November, and it's a bill against facial mutilation. And you give mark to a child without the consent of that child. The child grows up and says, oh, if I was not a child, I would have resisted this. And that is an infringement on the fundamental human rights. Any culture that infringes on the fundamental human right of that person should be abrogated, because the fundamental human right is enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, drawing tribal mark from Igala land to Ibadan to some other parts of Nigeria where you still find a child that is under 7 days old, being facially mutilated and all sorts of designs on their faces. And this mutilation and cuts and tribal mark is not done by professional medical experts, it's not done by nurses or people who have medical experience. It's by some very local people who use unsterilized sharp objects. And this results in diseases that will give either permanent disabilities to some of these kids, and in most cases, they even die of infections.
In November 2016, Senator Malaye sponsored a bill for the abolition of tribal marks, which passed the first and second readings but was yet to scale the third reading before his tenure ended rather abruptly following the decision of the Election Appeals Panel that nullified his second-term victory. He expected that the prohibition of tribal marks bill would have been represented before the State or House of Representatives by one of the members in the House, but wasn't. The Kogi-born politician says if he finds himself back in the Senate, he will definitely push for the representation of the bill.
Every bill dies with a particular legislative section. So if the bill is not passed and assented to by the president in that legislative section, the bill will have to be reintroduced afresh in another legislative section. If I find myself again in the Senate, I will definitely want to push it to a logical conclusion.
Like Senator Dino Malaye, not a few Nigerians see everything wrong with tribal marks, even as some see nothing wrong with it.
My mom briefed me on what happened when my dad came back from work. We're in Kaduna. I was born and brought up in Kaduna. And when my dad came back from work now, he met my mother, because my mother brought me back from the village then. Said, why all this mark? And they think it caused serious issue.
My dad actually have a tribal mark, and it somehow don't look good on him. So it's not something I want anyone to do to my child.
My child, tribal mark. No. It won't sit well with me and her. No. I won't accept it. Well, I would not react in a negative way because I believe in culture. But not a very, massive mark like that, though. Yeah.
For many, tribal marks as part of Nigeria's cultural heritage may soon be a thing of the past, as more and more people no longer fancy giving their newborn babies such ethnic identities. Whether the implementation of tribal marks should be abolished in Nigeria through legislation remains to be seen. Chidima Okafor, reporting for Clearview Television.
That's the news, but before we go, a recap of the top stories. The name of the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, is to be plotted out in his Obiokpo local government secretariat building, where he used to be the chairman. The order was given by the current chief executive, Chijioke Ihonwo. A suspected serial killer, Philip Okuneke, who was arrested in Ogun State, has reportedly pleaded that he and his accomplices be sentenced to death. We also told you that a detained Philippine pastor, Apollo Quiplo, who is also wanted in the United States for sex trafficking of children, has registered this Tuesday to run in next year's Senate elections. He is a self-proclaimed appointed son of God whose sect claims millions of followers. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube at Clearview News Desk, or via handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online. Many thanks for watching. I am Imifonoko.
We invite you to watch how we clear the views on all matters through our partner station MITV on DSTV channel 255, 7 p.m. daily, and also our YouTube and Facebook pages under one name, Clearview News Desk every day. We call it The People's News, as we are available to come over and cover your events upon notice. Or do you have news you want us to broadcast? Send it in. We verify and go to town with it. All for you. Go ahead, engage us to thrash out those naughty issues on the news. And what we need from you is to share and subscribe. More important, convince your loved ones, friends, relatives, co-worshippers, and more to subscribe so as to be getting notifications as we break the news. Go a step further, like the news, and drop your thoughts on the comment section. Clearview News. We clear the view one time and for all time.